Do you drive a Lexus and you have a hard time seeing what's in front of you? Well, we have a solution, guys. Our plug-and-play front camera adapter together with our front camera system. Not only does it give you the exact front bumper view of your car, it comes with this really nice button where you could toggle through the front camera, the rear camera, and back to your factory system. Let our team show you how everything installs and how everything works.
All right, guys, we've got an install on this beautiful, lovely 22 ES. The grille here is a little bit different than their counterparts, so we're gonna do the same thing as we did for the Sienna. Put it right on the bottom here. Yeah, everything else seems pretty standard. Hugging the wire looms, going through, making sure the install's pretty clean, and then right in there, let me show you. If you look straight exactly where this light is pointed, you will see the grommet. Now, if you're worried about, oh, my hand's too big, I can't get it in there, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Let me show you how to do it. This is exactly kind of like the RC that we did. So where your brake is, if you look right over here, there's a little slit, a little hose sticking out of it. Pull that carpet back and you can see a nice little circular grommet. You just, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on the top right side. I'd probably puncture since that's where we gotta enter here on the top left side. And this is the tool. You can get it for a certain amount of dollars on Amazon. I don't remember how much it was because it's been so long, but just type in Grommet Puncture tool. Alrighty, here are the contents inside of the box. You got the extension, you got the camera, you got the power supply, you got the adhesive and the alcohol wipe to prep the surface. Very simple, very straightforward. This is what we're gonna route. From the other side, because it normally goes through and through, I fed a speaker wire through it. You could just keep pushing it in from the inside, or you could even use like a metal coat hanger, anything that's thin, something more flexible, I'd say. The plan is to just tape these two ends together, and then when I pull it through, this should feed in through the same way. So after we brought the wire in, there's gonna be this gray connector. I just slipped it right underneath there. We got this main collection that goes to the main fuse box. I took this out to the ECU. These are two 8mm. This is a 10mm, just so that I could move freely with my hand. It's just a bracket. When you put it back on, I do recommend putting these two on first and then putting on this one. This one is also a 10mm. This one, if you are only using shallow 10mm, I recommend using a deep socket. Magnetic tools are always recommended. And then I just lifted this slightly. I ran the wire through and then I put it back on. Now, if you try to muscle it up and do it any other way, you could end up damaging this connector. Since this is the male side, this one is a little bit thicker than the female side. It doesn't fit in as comfortably. If you damage it or this kind of gets warped a little bit, you can't really plug the camera in. So that's the routing that we did so far. The main plan is after we get the camera routed, we're gonna have them meet over here. There's a nice little plastic panel here, which I'm gonna collectively get the wires in, insulate them, and I'm gonna tuck them underneath this panel. So let's get the camera mounted. So when we take the camera off, the orientation on this is gonna be upside down since it's meant to hang from the bottom. So just mark where the top is just because it's symmetrical on both sides. Right here where the V goes in, I'm gonna remove that Speedo looking part, but I'm gonna cut that off. If you don't have like a vise or anything like that, you could use pliers or anything to hold it. Use a Dremel. Wire cutters might be a little hard, but use whatever tools you got. Alrighty guys, so for this camera, at least for the front grille, we normally would put it underneath this plastic piece here that you see, have it upside down. But as per customer request, we did put it on the bottom here. They want to keep their license plate on. The main purpose that they wanted to do it was to just see the front bumper for parking. And one thing that I will say about here too, since it's very open on the back of this, the wire that goes up, it's gonna you're gonna see it. You ain't gonna like that. So right here, do you see this right here? The T, this cross right up here. I'm gonna bring this wire actually up here, and since the license plate's gonna block it, we're just gonna tie it to this top portion right here, just so that the wire's not like dangling, and it looks like, you know, Spider-Man's trying to get all over the place. So we'll do that. Alrighty, so for right here, after we made the tie on the top here, on the crash beam here, there's gonna be a little small square exit. That's where I routed the camera line through. It just seemed like an organic spot to do so. And then once you go up, we put it in an L shaping to the right side, obviously, because we're gonna be routing to the route side. We made the first tie here on the main clump. The second one is gonna be next to the horn right here. Right here, if you're like right in the middle of where this air intake is, right next to that radiator, if you go straight through, there's like a little cushiony part that kind of comes out. There's a little opening there. It's a little flexible for you to feed that wire through. And then we tie it to the main cluster of wires that are right here on the inside of like the DRLs. Then we didn't make any other ties because we did go underneath. Yeah, we went underneath this main cluster as well. And then once you go up, and then right here, that gap, we shot right up this gap right here, and then We're gonna plan to hide it all right in here, and we'll probably tie the main cluster of our wires in there as well so that it doesn't move. And yeah, now we're just ready for testing, and then we'll put everything back together.
Alrighty guys, first things first, before we begin, let's go ahead and remove this kind of like thick leather panel here. You can kind of just stick your hands in here and kind of just grab it. It's all just being held in by clips. After that, let's go ahead and remove this cover panel here. Next, grab a 10mm socket and ratchet, and it's going to be 2 bolts that we're going to go ahead and remove. After that is removed, let's go ahead and remove this big panel here. Kind of just grab your hand here on the side and just pull it. It's just being held in by clips. This piece is very, very big, so be very, very careful and gentle so that way you don't damage your interior. Next, let's go ahead and remove this air vent here. Again, same thing with your hands. You kind of just grab it, pull it out straight towards you. Again, being held in by clips, so just be very, very careful. Make sure you have a thick blanket or a towel or jacket ready so that way you can kind of cover your interior, because we are going to be removing this panel next. So to do so, you can kind of just pull on it. It's all just being held in by clips. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's actually very, very easy to remove. And there's going to be one connector we are going to be removing, which is the climate control connector. And then we'll need to remove this 10mm bolt here. Just grab that out of there, put it in a safe location. And from here, we can kind of just pull the screen out. And there's going to be a couple connectors back there. You can go ahead and disconnect them now by pulling the release tab out. All right, so here's what the screen looks like. It's just 4 connectors back here. And this is actually where our CS11 connector is going to connect to. So, all right, let's go ahead and get that installed now. All right, and before we install our CS11A, to make more room so that way we have more space to hide the module, let's go ahead and remove this vent piece here. You can kind of just pull on it again. It's being held in by clips. And let's go ahead and remove the emergency light connector here. And the CS11A module will perfectly hide away in this cavity here. Here is our CS11A front camera interface. Inside, you'll find the button, as well as the wiring harness, and the camera selector module itself, along with some RCA cables and the instructions manual. If you guys ever have any questions on this, you guys can feel free to refer to the instructions manual that comes with the kit, or send us a email, info@beatsonicusa.com, or leave a comment down below. And first things first, it's kind of very, very easy, but on these ends, there are these Giboshi bullet connectors. Just go ahead and match up the colors. So red goes to red here. And when you connect these, make sure they go in straight and they pop in. Like, you think this is in, but this is technically okay. But you want to make sure you push it in further, so that way they kind of like pop in. Next, we have a black wire, which will go to the black wire on this side. And we'll do the same thing for the rest of the wires. To make sure this is a little bit more organized, I'm going to zip tie, and that way it just looks a little bit more prettier. All right, great. After it's a little bit more organized like this, let's go ahead and cut off the excess, and I'll show you guys where to go and connect this. Alrighty, and here's what it looks like, all nice and cleaned up. I recommend using some heat shrink or some wire loom if you have some, but unfortunately we don't have any, so zip ties is probably the best move for everybody, because most likely everybody has zip ties, but that way you can go ahead and keep things nice and organized. And the easiest way to go and connect our CS11A plug and play harness is actually the black connector right behind the factory screen. So this side, we'll go ahead and connect to the factory connector here. And listen up guys, this is very, very important, okay? Inside, if you take a look at these connectors, there are these pins on our female harness. Make sure that these pins go in straight within the factory connector, and that these pins aren't bent, kinked, or damaged. Otherwise you may have an error, or the screen won't turn on, or you might lose some factory functions. Double check this connector always. And to prevent breaking or damaging these pins, make sure that this goes into the factory connector nice and straight, not at an angle. Make sure you push it in until you hear the click. That way it locks in, okay? Perfect. All right guys, next let's go ahead and open up this panel some more. Let's go ahead and remove these plastic panels here. Grab a thin plastic panel removal tool, and you can go ahead and just pry this open first. This piece will pop out, just being held in by clips, along with this piece here. This one you can kind of just push up, also just being held in by clips. And let's go ahead and remove the connector here. Let's go ahead and remove this panel next, okay? This one you kind of just pull up as well, being held in by clips. This will open up a wide range of better space for us to work with, because since we are going to be hiding the CS module down here, so we'll follow along the factory wiring here, follow along on the left side here, and this will go ahead and you can kind of remove this connector if you need to. That way you can kind of route it underneath it. Let's go ahead and clip this back in, and then this will tuck underneath here, which will go down here, okay? All right, so after we are here, let's go ahead and mount our camera button. We're actually gonna have it on the side here, just like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and push and hold here with some double-sided sticky tape to make sure it stays in place. All right, I didn't get to show the portion of this part in the video, but the BCAM that we are using does have an extension, so we're gonna go ahead to plug it in here. That goes to the extension that Eric has kindly helped us out with. And from here, there is a power, ground wire, and an RCA cable that you'll need to route from here and out towards the center console, which we have out and already done so here. So let's go ahead and put this all back. So here is our CS module camera selector. You'll notice there's pretty much like a wiring diagram on where you go ahead and connect everything. If you ever get confused, you can go ahead and follow along me or take a look at your instructions manual. So following along our instructions manual, look for the RCA that is labeled output on the CS harness here, and output goes to the back camera. So we'll undo these RCA cables our kit comes with, and we prefer the 90-degree angle to be on the CS module, but you can use it however you like. So the back camera goes to the output on our CS module here, and then we'll grab our front camera RCA, and of course front camera will go to front cam, which is here on the left side. Then the output, we are going to connect this output side back to the CS module without the labeled. Okay, so just so you guys know, the output here does not connect to the output that's connected to the CS harness, okay? Don't get those confused. And then here is our button harness connector. This will connect to the SW slot here, which is the switch on the bottom here. And last but not least, this connector here will connect to the CS module down here. But fortunately, it's not long enough, so we're going to leave that there for now while we go ahead and tap into the CS harness for power and ground for our camera, okay? So let's go ahead and connect these power and ground wires, tap these from the CS harness here. All right, our plug and play front camera interface for the Lexus vehicles also come with this posy tab is what it's called, but you pretty much one end of the wire goes in, and this little sharp piece here will go ahead and pierce that wire and give you contact with whatever wire you are tapping on, and on the other end would be like raw wire where you wrap it around this terminal here, and then you'll screw it back in. All right, after everything's been connected and wrapped up, this last connector, which is our CS15 main harness here, will go in between the switch and the output and just connects just like that. And I do recommend cleaning everything up, zip tying everything, that way it's nice and organized. And I also do recommend electric taping the RCA so that way they don't come loose over time. All right, let's go ahead and continue cleaning everything up, and we'll give you guys a demo on how it works. All right, I'm also gonna use some automotive foam tape. You can pretty much pick this up at like Home Depot or your closest automotive store, like AutoZone should have some foam tape. The reason why I'm using this is just because since we are mounting it back behind the dash, we don't want it rattling around or anything. After that, let's go ahead and tuck away the harnesses and insert our module into the cavity underneath. I'm gonna give you a rough look at what it looks like, and I'm gonna go and clean everything up. All right, so inside there is pretty much the cavity where it's going to be at, as well as the RCA connections here. And then, yep, that's it. So it's going to look something similar to that. I still need to go ahead and clean this up with some additional zip ties and organization. And then let's go ahead and give it a test run. So make sure all the factory connectors behind here are plugged in before you do run your test. And let's go ahead and put the vehicle into ACC. And if this green button here is lit up, which means it is working. So if I go ahead and push this button, it's going to go ahead and display the front camera. And this is the factory reverse camera. And this is back to the factory Lexus screen. And you can do this all while in motion, which is the beauty of our product. So let me go ahead and run through one more time. This is the front camera, factory backup camera, and back to the factory Lexus screen. All right. So this confirms everything is working, and let's just go ahead and tidy everything up and reverse order everything we just did and give you guys a real demo on how it works.
All right, my team here just finished installing our front camera CS11A combined with our BCAM13 on this Lexus ES, and let me show you how this works. So let me first turn on the car, and as you guys can see here, everything about the car is factory. We didn't make any modifications that you can actually visibly see. The screen is the same, and there's nothing funny going on. There's no additional screen. Everything incorporates with the factory system beautifully. And all that's left is this button over here. And when you push it, shows your front camera. We mounted it so it clearly shows you the end of the front bumper right here. And if you press it one more time, it shows you your backup camera. So if you're driving and you want to see your backup camera, definitely can do so. Doesn't matter how fast your car is driving. You could be on the freeway, driving at highway speeds, and still turn on the backup camera if you press this twice. And once the timer times out at 15 seconds, it'll go back to your native factory screen. And there's different settings on the button as well. So first, you can change the timeout. The default is set at 15 seconds. If you want to change it to something shorter, like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, you definitely can do so. Or if you want it longer to be 20 seconds, you can also change that. And right now, the second button press shows you the backup camera. That function is turned on default. If you want to turn it off, you can also do that as well. We're going to change this to 10 seconds and then back to 15 seconds. To go into the program settings, you'll want to push and hold the button here. Make sure you're not covering the LED and turn on the car. And we'll wait until it starts flashing. There it is, and let it go. So we're at the timer program mode, and at the timer program mode right now, if you count the flashes, it's flashing 3 times, which is default 15. So if you press it one more time, it's gonna flash 4 times. This is 20 seconds. And if you press it another time, you'll see that it's flashing 5 times, which means you disable your timer. So once you select the desired setting, you will just push and hold to save the setting. So let me go back to my 15 seconds. That's 3. Push and hold. And rapid blink confirms that you saved the setting. Say that you want to turn off the backup camera view with this. You'll also go through the same setup mode. So let me start that from the beginning. Push and hold. Make sure you see the LED indicator. It'll flash. And after the flash, the LED status will just go to on. There it is. And then let go. All right. Now we are on the backup camera PTV setting. Right now it's flashing twice, which is default, which means the backup camera shows when you press the button twice. If you press it one more time, it only flashes once. And that's the setting if you want to turn this function off, if you don't want the backup camera to show. And press it one more time. There it is. And that's the setting we want, which is the default. We're going to push and hold it. And once again, the rapid blink confirms that you saved the setting. And that's it. Very easy to set those 2 functions. So depending on how you want to utilize this front camera interface along with your front camera, you have some choices here. All right, this concludes our video today. We showed you how to install our front camera interface along with the front camera. As you can see, super easy to do. It's all plug and play, and we're not making any permanent modifications to your car, just in case you want to remove it for your future Lexus, or you just want to put the car back to stock. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. We love to hear from you. And if you're having it help our channel, give us that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It'll really help us out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys on the next video.